Okay, in this video we're going to create a wall section for our house. First thing I'm going to do before I even create the section is I'm going to go to a 3D view and I'm going to add gutters to the house so that they will show up in the sectional view. To do that, we're going to go to Architecture, drop down the Roof command and go to Gutter, and we're going to click the roof and place a gutter on either side. Okay. And you can see the gutter. Okay, then I am going to go back to the first floor plan. I'm going to create a wall section. So I'm going to use my shortcut to the section command, and I'm going to create a wall section right through this section of wall right there. Okay. I'm going to right click on the section line and hit go to view. And I'm going to adjust the crop region. Okay. And I see I'm in a bedroom here. There's a bed there. We don't need to show furniture on a sectional view. So I'm going to hide in view the whole category. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is change the detail level from coarse to fine. That allows me to show more detail in the sectional view. Now I got a little more detail than I wanted there. I don't want to show the concrete masonry units on this foundation wall. So I'm just going to hide that wall in the view just to clean it up a little bit. Then I'm going to start adding detail components. Detail components are two-dimensional components that are going to show just on this wall section. Everything that's here now is part of the 3D model. So make sure you don't make any changes to any of these 3D components because it will affect the 3D model. To do 2D components, we want to go to the Annotate tab and click on Component. Now, since we used the residential template, I can go over here and click this, and we have a lot of our components preloaded. The first component I'm going to start with is a 2x6. And it gives me a cross-sectional view of a 2x6, and we're going to place the plates in the wall. Okay? So I'm just going to drop one plate here, and I'm going to rotate it, and I can do that just by hitting the space bar. It rotates it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to take and align it where it would go in the wall here using the Align tool. So I'm going to pick the core face of the inside of the stud and then the plate, and I'm going to lock that so it stays there. Then I'm going to go up to the top of the wall here, or the bottom of the rafter, and click that, and then the top plate, and lock that in place. Okay. Then rather than placing more plates there and aligning them, I'm just going to copy this one using the copy tool, and I can check multiple, and I can say copy that down to here and have a double top plate, and then I can copy for the bottom or the sole plate, and align it with the top of the subfloor and lock that in place. Okay, next I'm going to add a 2x10 sill plate. So I'm going to go back to Annotate, Component, and select 2x10, place it. I'm actually going to place two of them because I need one for the band board also. Okay, this one I'm going to rotate by hitting the space bar, and then I'm going to align that with the outside of the foundation wall here. Let's put that on wall faces. Lock that in place, and then I'm going to align it with the top of the foundation wall and lock that in place. So I have a nice 2x10 sill plate. And then I'm going to align the band board, which goes right at the end of the floor joist here. It's not letting me pick what I want. I can grab this line right here. That'll work. Okay, lock that in place. And we want to line up the top of that there and lock that in place. Next, I'm going to add some insulation. And for that, I'm going to, again, go to the Annotate tab, and there's an insulation tool. And you can set the width of the insulation. It's already set for 5.5, which will work nicely in my wall here. I can just click the midpoint on the bottom plate there, and the midpoint on the bottom of the double top plate, and it fills the wall with insulation. I could also put some insulation in the roof. We'll make that a little bit thicker. Go with 10 inches of insulation there. And again, center it. Now it's a little bit too low, so I'm going to click on it. I'm using the arrow key on the keyboard just to move it up into place there. Okay, next I'm going to place an anchor bolt to hold the sill plate to the foundation wall. Again, Annotate, Component, Anchor bolt. I chose a 0.75 diameter, and I'm just going to click on my sill plate there on the midpoint of it just to get it centered. And then it's a little bit too high, so I'm going to click on it and just use the arrow key, bring it down where it should be. And then I'd like to mirror it, flip it over. This one doesn't have a flip arrow, so I can simply just go up here and choose the mirror tool. And I don't want to make a copy. I just want to mirror what I have there. If I click the center line of the bolt, it flips it the other way. Okay, and I'm going to move up to the roof overhang here. And I'm going to put a fascia board on the end of the rafter there. So for that, I'm going to use a 2x8. Just drop it right in there. And then I'm going to create a soffit. And for this, I'm not going to use a component. It'd be a little bit easier just to use a detail line. So I'm going to come up here and click Detail Line, set it for rectangle, and just place it a soffit. Okay, next I'm going to go down to the footing and do a little bit of work there. First thing I'm going to do is draw a representation of earth around the bottom of the footing here. I'm going to do that with a filled region. Okay, and I'm going to start with the diagonal crosshatch or whatever pops up there. I'm going to actually edit type, duplicate it, and I'm just going to call it Earth. Hit OK, and I'm going to change the fill pattern in here to Earth. Then hit OK and OK, and then I'm going to sketch a closed region right around the footing here. to represent Earth. Okay. Then I'm going to do another region. This one I'm going to use gravel fill, and you may have to create that just like I did the earth fill. So that would be gravel fill around the drain tile we're going to place there. Okay. And then we're going to place the 6-inch PVC drain tile. And we're going to do that with a masking region. And I'm just going to draw a circle and make it about 6 inches. Finish it. And I can move that using my arrow keys down a little bit closer there. And that's our drain tile. And now to finish off the section, we're going to add some annotations. Okay, so I went a little quick there. I went to annotate, text, and then I'm going to choose the 2-segment leader. Okay, I'm going to put it on 1/8" Arial. You may have to make that. You may have to edit, type, duplicate, and create 1/8" if it's not part of your template. And actually, I just noticed my scale here is set for 1/4 inch equals a foot. I'm going to change that to 1/2 inch equals a foot before I start putting these annotations on there. Okay, 1/8 inch. And I can put a leader over to my 6-inch PVC drain tile. And annotate that. Okay, and then I can continue adding all of the annotations that I need for my section. There's a good example of a finished annotated section here. So you can add all those annotations. This video is already too long, so I'm not going to go through adding all of those annotations. Last thing you want to do, if you haven't already, is hide the crop region, and you'll have your finished section.